Good morning, everyone. It is day 18 and I left the Birch Spring Campsite just a little bit ago. As you can tell, it's a very foggy morning. There's still a little mist in the air. It did rain just a little bit early hours of the morning, but not a ton. And yeah, I think the goal is 11.5 miles today to Spence Field Shelter, I think it's called. Elevation wise, I think it's under 3,000 feet of elevation gain, so it shouldn't be too bad of a day. Good opportunity for me to just take it easy again. Tomorrow I think will be a little bit bigger of a day. So yesterday and today should be, hopefully, my body should like them, I hope. So we will see, but I just wanted to pop on and do like a little PSA, and I hope I don't come across as being like harsh or rude or anything, or make too many of you mad, but I have gotten a lot of comments on my YouTube channel requesting that I change the way that I vlog or show less of my face and more scenery, or talk about certain things. And I've also had comments about people that don't like me. And I just want to say, like, the original intent of this YouTube channel when I made it was to just document my journey for future me, and also share with my friends and family who do primarily want to hear from me, and like see how I'm feeling with a little bit of scenery and whatnot thrown in. And of course I love sharing this with anyone else who wants to watch. I've enjoyed watching so many other thru hikers videos last year and the year before. So, you know, that's why I wanted to share this with the public and make them public, because if anything that I do or say helps out a future AT hopeful, then, you know, or inspires them in any way, then that is the goal. But you know, I'm not out here trying to become another influencer or a super YouTuber or anything like that. Like I said, I do appreciate all the subscribers and comments and encouragement. It really does mean a lot to me. But I just want everyone to keep in mind that this channel is primarily for me to document how I want to document, and I don't intend to necessarily change the way that I film unless I feel that it's something that future me would want to see, or friends and family back home. So again, I hope that doesn't like make anyone mad or turn anyone off from me, but it's fine if it does. You know, there's tons and tons of thru hikers out here this year vlogging. So also to that fact, if you don't like me or you think that I am self-absorbed or whatever, then, you know, do both of us a favor and just leave quietly. You don't need to make a rude comment. It just doesn't really bode well for either of us, and it doesn't make you look like a good person, honestly. So just leave quietly. If you don't like me, that's fine. Everyone doesn't have to like me. That's not how life works. So yeah, I just wanted to do that little PSA because I've been getting a lot of comments lately as I'm getting more subscribers and more viewers, and I just want to make sure everyone knows what the goal of this channel originally was and still is. So I will bring you along on today's hike. I'll show you the good views if there's any. Hopefully the fog clears up, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, I figure I'll show you some scenery. Well, I talked to you all about one thing I forgot to mention, and that's about the permit system for Smokies. And I know in yesterday's video, you probably saw me drop my AT permit into the permit box, and some of you may have wondered what the permit is. So basically, there's a permit you can buy as an AT thru hiker from the Smoky Mountain National Park. It's $20, and it's good for 38 days from the date of purchase. And once you drop that half into the entrance box at the boundary, you have 8 days to make it through the park to the other side. I don't know if they really enforce that, but that's what the rule is. So yeah, it's $20, and like I said, it's only good for 38 days once you purchase it. So some people do purchase it before they leave home and before they start their through hike. But if you're not confident that you will be done with the Smokies in 38 days, you can always wait to purchase your permit, which is what I did. So I purchased it when I was at Chica and Sunsets in Franklin, and they email you a PDF. And then honestly, the easiest place to get it printed is at the Knock in the outdoor center. All you have to do, and there's instruction sheet when you go inside to the info desk, is forward your email to a specific Knock email address, and then one of the employees there at the Knock will print it for you, and then you'll be all set. So for time reference, from the Knock to Fontana, I did that push in 2 days. Some people take 3 or 4, but the Knock, I think, is the perfect place to have it printed. It's super easy since you already go right through the Knock. Anyway, you can also print it at the Fontana Lodge, but if you weren't planning on going into Fontana Village, since that is an extra shuttle, then I would say print it at the Knock, and just make life easier. All right, so I just came from over there. The trail is supposed to come right through straight where this massive tree fell from up there. How rude. Right down the middle of the trail. Anyway, there was like a little detour people took up and around here, but that tree trunk had some girth. It was hard to get across, and the mud is all slippery, and oh my gosh, I thought I was just gonna like bust my body trying to get through that. Onward and upward. What's up, guys? I am at the summit of Doe Knob, and it is like Narnia in here with all the fog, and there's like down trees, moss everywhere. It's really pretty, despite the fog, but I don't think there's typically any good views from up here anyway, so I guess the fog makes it cooler. I've got a little bit of a downhill and then another big uphill push to get up to Molly's Ridge Shelter, which I'm not staying at, but it's just like a little landmark for me to measure where I gotta go and how many miles. I think it's like 3 more miles to there. And then after that, I get a little bit of another downhill. And I honestly haven't looked past that lately. I like to just look at what I have coming up in the immediate future. So we'll see after I get to Molly's Ridge what the terrain looks like after that. So I'll check in when I feel like it. All right, so this actually isn't a bad section, but today is like doing a mud run. There's so much slippery mud on the trail. Going up in it is not terrible, but man, going down, I've almost fallen probably at least 10 times because you just step wrong and your foot slips out from underneath you. I think it's so muddy from like the weekend's snow melting and the rain yesterday, or no, 2 nights ago, and the rain overnight last night, and it is just mushy out. So I'm going a little bit slower than I normally would, which is probably a good thing so that I don't hurt myself, and it also gives my calves and Achilles a little bit more of a break. We are on the uphill now to Molly's Ridge Shelter, is the next little checkpoint. I just looked at the mileage, but I already forgot. I think it's less than 2 miles. And it's a fairly gradual uphill. And then we start going down. So I'll check in at Molly's Ridge if there's anything exciting there to show you. Otherwise, it's honestly just going to be more of this slop. The fog does seem to be lifting a tad, which was expected. I think by 11, the forecast said, the fog would dissipate. So let's keep going. All right, so I'm here at Molly's Ridge Shelter. The trail goes literally right by it. Normally in the Smokies, it's required that you sleep in a shelter if there's room, but 2020 through now, you are allowed to stay in your tent even if there's room in the shelter, to allow for proper social distancing and safety due to COVID. And at least at this shelter, I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but there's a sign letting you know. So I'll give you a quick little tour. There are bear cables between those 2 trees. There's a bear box behind the shelter back there. A little picnic area. It's a double-decker. There's even a fireplace. There's a fire pit. It says there's a water source here, but there's a sign that you've got to boil the water. So I don't know. It sounds like maybe just regular filtering isn't enough for this water source. I don't know. So yeah, it's down that way. There's a toilet area down that trail. No privy here, but looks like a designated place to dig cat holes and whatnot. So my assumption is that the trail continues this way. Yes. And I'll show you a little close-up of the bear cables. So it's hard to catch in video, but you can see there's these metal wire cables. It's a pulley system that goes up to this horizontal cable. Basically, you hook, there's hooks right there. You hook your backpack or bear bag, or both onto the hook. You pulley the system up, and then there is a sort of almost like carabiner type hook here that you pull over to the tree and hook onto this metal hook, and that will hold your bear bag and or backpack up there out of reach of bears. And those round discs you see on the line are so that mice can't run across the line and get down to your bear bag either. So that's that. As you can see, there's some tent spaces up here. So it looks like a really nice shelter. I think it's one of the most popular ones that people hike to on day 1 of entering the Smokies. So I think it gets probably pretty busy. So I'm gonna keep on hiking and I'll check in with you guys later. What's up, everybody? I'm only like a quarter mile from Spence Field Shelter. I'm gonna hike into that. It's a little bit of a blue blaze off the AT, but it's only about 2 o'clock, but I think I'm actually gonna stay here tonight. This was my original planned stop. It's about 11.5 miles for the day. And I know it's early, but the next shelter where I can sleep is another 6.5 miles and over 2,000 feet of elevation gain to get there. And I was trying to do the math in my head. I figured it would take me, with the elevation and the miles, about 4 hours to get there. And then I feel like I'd be rushing to get things set up before it gets dark and just not like really relaxing and resting my body. I was thinking about pushing to there because it's a good day weather-wise today, and tomorrow's supposed to rain in the afternoon. So I was thinking, you know, if I push big miles today, I would only have like 8 or so to do tomorrow, and I could potentially beat the rain before getting to the planned shelter stop. But yeah, I just don't think it's worth it to push my body today. I can feel my Achilles starting to get a little bit sore already, so I know if I push another 2,000 feet of elevation, I would be in pretty rough shape. It's not a race, so I mean, regardless, I'm not going up over Clingman's Dome until Saturday, because I really want a good weather day for that. So I'm just going to keep with my original plan, and if I have to hike a couple miles in the rain tomorrow, so be it. It's not going to be the first or the last time that I hike in the rain, I'm sure. So yeah, that's the plan. I did go ahead, while I had some really good service a little bit ago, and booked a hotel in Gatlinburg for Saturday night. I figured since it was a Saturday, I should try to snag something up before all the good stuff gets full. I've heard there's a couple roach motels in Gatlinburg that are like the hiker hotels. So I actually booked it's not really advertised as a hiker hotel. It's not on Gut Hook or in AWOL Guide or anything like that. I forget what it's called, but it's just a local hotel. I splurged a little bit on it. It's got 2 king beds in the room, but I did splurge. It was close to $200 for the night, but it's my birthday weekend, so I'm allowed to. And I did text the cult group chat to see if anyone else is going to be in Gatlinburg Saturday. They're welcome to split it with me, since, you know, it's 2 king beds. We could easily fit 4 of us in there, so that would make the price a little bit more manageable. But I'm excited. I've got somewhere nice to stay. It's walking distance to the main strip, and I'm definitely going to get myself a Starbucks when I'm out there. So yeah, that's Saturday, but I'm gonna hike the 1/4 mile to the shelter and eat some lunch, and then get my tent set up for the night. I'll check in later. Bye. All right, so I just came to a sign. I came from Russell Field Trail, Derrick Knob Shelter, and if you come around here, Spence Field Shelter, point 2, that's where I'm going. So it's up this Blue Blaze side trail. 0.2 miles, a little bit off the main drag, but that's okay. It's either that or go, like I said, another 6 miles and 2,000 feet of gain, which I don't got that in me tonight. So we're gonna go to this shelter. Alrighty, so here we are at Spence Field Shelter. Super nice. It is another double-decker with great stone walls and a roof. There's little benches and tables here. A fire pit. There is a water source, 0.1 to the right, it looks like. There is, oh, this shelter actually is one of the few in the Smokies that has a privy. It's down, there's a sign here pointing down that trail. There's a privy down there. Another little like counter height table here. And then I am going to hike or hobble over to where I've thrown my tent out. I just have it laid out drying because it was a little bit wet from last night. Oh, here are the bear cables. And I am going to set up my tent. More bear cables right here. And my tent is right over here. It's just laying out drying right now. Nice, flat, beautiful spot. And there were a few more the trail back to the AT goes that way. That's where I came down. And there were a couple little side trails off that had some more spots for tents. So very nice shelter. I had some lunch, caught up with Pepperjack, who was also eating lunch here. I was at the Nantahala Mountain Lodge with him for those 2 nights that I was there. And yeah, he's continuing on to Derek Knob, but my Achilles are screaming no. So I'm just gonna park myself here for the night. I don't have cell service, or at least I didn't sitting right here. Maybe I do in other spots of this area, but luckily I've got my little inReach here that I was able to send a message to my husband where I'm at, and he will be the messenger to the moms to let them know. So I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna do some stretching. It looks like some people are coming down the trail now, so I'll get some socializing in, and I will maybe do an update before bed. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow.